Hello and welcome back to another Knights of Lorcana League match. Today we've got Chasey versus WhanDamme. Got a Purple Steel versus Emerald Sapphire match for us today. Juan did win the dice roll. Mulligans are done, and we're going to look for the turn one play here. It looks like we have a Little Philip into a Clarabelle. So pretty solid turn one for Juan, able to threaten big shift with Clarabelle. We do see a Domona inked on the side of Chasey, and then a small Olaf played. Not that there's a big one. Really good card in this matchup, I think. It provides some insurance against the big Philip combo. Get our turn 2 ramp on the side of Juan with a Tipo. We'll see if Chasey's able to curve out a little bit here. So far, so good. We get 2 costs me, evasive on your turn. Really solid character in these Purple Steel lists. Synergizes well with Dumbo. Able to take down some evasive threats. Pretty versatile card. I do like to use the Jafar version of that card, as there is very rarely some pirate hate out there, which Smee does get affected by. Yeah, that's the one I like to use occasionally. We do see a Cinderella come down. So a little bit of turbo ramp going on the side of Juan. He will have enough ink to play his big Clarabelle next turn. He's got it in hand. Then we get the Cheshire Cat coming down turn 3 from Chasey. Looking pretty good so far. Cheshire Cat's one of the best sets to come out of, or one of the best cards to come out of set 10, in my opinion. Super versatile effect, constant threat. Yeah, we do get the shift big Clarabelle. We'll see if there's maybe a You're Welcome, and there is, sung by the Cindy, targeting that Cheshire Cat. So he will be shuffled into the deck, and Chasey will get to draw 2, which will benefit Juan immensely with the Clarabelle effect. And then we have Clarabelle challenge into the Smee, cleaning it up. So Chasey's board looking pretty thin right now, which is not where you want to be on turn 4 with Amethyst Steel. 4, 5, 6. So a huge 6-card draw from the Clarabelle there. I think Juan was able to empty his hand, and Chasey had 6 in hand, so pretty brutal. That Clarabelle definitely got the work done. At that point, if I was playing her, even if she got taken out next turn, she did her job. Got that perfect mid-game refill. You see an Elsa go in the inkwell, and we get a Cobra. Get a little bit of lore gain going there. Also able to threaten the Cinderella and the Clarabelle a bit. And then we get a Hook come down next to it. So some pretty nice cards for threatening both or all 3 characters on board. Actually, if this Clarabelle quests, the Hook can trade, and that's a very nice trade up, a 1 cost for a 7 cost, so we would take that all day. Donald going in the inkwell. We do see little Philip come down, so do have to be wary of the big Philip coming down next turn with the shift. And just to make sure he's got it, we do have a Vision of the Future come out from Juan. So if I was on the side of Chasey, I would definitely be worried about the combo coming down and ruining my day. You do have the Olaf available to bounce something back if it gets banished by the malicious, mean, and scary. Wow, and then go straight into a develop after that. So a lot of dig, putting some cards in hand, finding what he needs, hopefully. Still hasn't quested or anything yet this turn. We'll see if Juan does go ahead and quest. I think he's okay not to at this point. Yep, so he does go ahead and just pass the turn. No cards to draw from Clarabelle because of all the cards gained from the vision and the develop. We do have Cobra seeing Strength of a Raging Fire onto the Clarabelle, so not able to keep her safe even though she stayed upright. But again, I think she did her job, so not too big of a loss there. Got a second Cobra come down. No trigger on the Cobra, but does play a Dock following, so it gets to draw 2 with an empty hand there. And getting some quests in now. I think this is important versus blue-green. You don't want to keep yourself upright for too long. At some point, you need to start putting out lore pressure, trying to hopefully make them exert some of their stuff. If you don't start questing quickly, they can slam some big stuff down like John Silver, Basil, or the big Philip, and then they can just run away with the game after that. Not something you want to deal with usually. Sail in the Inkwell. 7 ink available for 1. You get another vision. More digging. Not going to be able to ink again this turn, so no threat of the big Philip coming down yet. I do wonder if he'll just decide to develop more characters. Yeah, a second Cinderella will do it, that's for sure. So both of these Cinderellas are going to trigger off of each other. So at the end of Juan's turn, he'll be able to ink a card, draw a card, and then ink a card, draw a card. So pretty nice filtering there. Can maybe get rid of something he doesn't need, like an Under the Sea, although Under the Sea would hit 3 out of the 5 characters on Chasey's side. Maybe get rid of a Tipo in the hand or something he doesn't quite need anymore. I think deciding whether or not to sing a song with the Cinderella, I don't expect him to be questing with it. But he does go to the end step, so he's going to ink, draw, and then declines the second Cinderella unless I missed it. So likes everything he has in his hand. So for me, if that was me, I'd be scared. Don't want to be on the end of somebody who's deciding to decline their Cinderella triggers. 9 ink available for him as well, so he could just sing this malicious, mean, and scary and straight out play the big Philip at this point. And another hook come down on the side of Chasey. Looks like drawing into a lot of his 1-drops, which can feel pretty bad. And then we do notice that he keeps the dock upright, because if this Olaf does get banished, And then Olaf can return the dock to hand, giving him some more draws, so doesn't want to leave the dock open to any challenges. Do you get a Mother Knows Best on the Olaf? So I wonder if he will bounce the dock at this point. Interesting. Decided to not bounce anything back with that Olaf. Olaf's rule text does read that when this character leaves play, you may return chosen characters of yours to your hand. So he does not have to be banished for it to work. So maybe a bit of a mistake there from Chasey. Yeah, we did get the malicious, mean, and scary, and then the big Philip come down. So cleaning up the entirety of the board there can be a difficult spot to come back from at this point. Purple Steel can put down a lot of characters at once, and Genie is one of those characters. The Genie at this point, though, doesn't feel amazing because the Philip can just take it out very easily. And then we get a Calhoun as well, so Juan can't just freely quest with these Cinderellas now. We'll be giving the opponent 2 lore if he decides to do that, which is not usually a good feeling. There's the silver we were talking about, though. So silver on the Genie will make things extremely complicated. One could just opt to quest with only the Philip here and would force the Genie to challenge into the Philip. Does go ahead and quest out, though. I think realizes that he needs to start putting some serious pressure down as the lore totals are pretty close and they're both about halfway there. Get a second Calhoun come down. This is some nice pressure. Could double take the John Silver, but we do get a hard cast strength on the Philip and then Genie finishing the job. So a total of 6 damage there. So that was some nice math. Able to figure that the Philip was vulnerable at that point. So that was a good cleanup by Chasey, only giving that Philip 1 quest, catching back up in the lore totals, and having these 2 Calhouns available for more lore gain. We did see that one of the Cinderellas did get taken down by the Calhoun. Calhoun not having to trade because of the resist 1. So overall, even though we just got a Philip combo, the game's looking pretty even. I think Chasey definitely has a chance to come back here. We do have Cinderella trade into the Calhoun. Doesn't want to give Chasey a chance to gain more lore if Cinderella quests. I think this is okay. She's done her job at this point. He's sitting at 9 ink. Doesn't really need her. I do have a lot of ink and a few cards on the side of Juan, though, so we'll see if he's got any answers in hand. He was doing a lot of digging before. Not sure if it was all digging just for the combo, or if he was filling up his hand with a little bit more stuff. We do get a malicious, mean, and scary hard cast, declining the Olaf trigger, so Calhoun taking 1 damage there. Questing with the silver, giving Calhoun reckless, so she will not be able to take out the silver by herself. Do get a white rose come down, little passive lore gain. But unfortunately, it looked like that was the only card available for Chasey to play. I think having that dock back in the hand from the Olaf getting bounced with Mother Knows Best would have been a big game changer here. He does have a lot of Chasey does have a lot of ink available, but not able to use it because I'm thinking he's not got many cards in hand at this point. Oh, interesting. He's saying Juan's saying Mother Knows Best with John Silver. to bounce the John Silver back, healing it, and then playing it again to get its on play effect. And then yeah, that's gonna wrap up game one. Looks like Juan took it after that last bounce. Chasey not drawing into anything he needed there at that point. Pretty unfortunate situation for Chasey there. I think he did have a good handle on it, especially after the board wipe, but losing that dock and not really having any more answers drawn did end up hurting him. We'll see if he can make a comeback here in game two. Moving on to game two. Looks like we're just now completing mulligans. We'll be Chasey on the play this time. We'll see what he can do to answer this this pretty hard matchup into the blue-green. It's definitely not something that's favored on the side of Amethyst Steel. Get an Elsa in the Inkwell and a Captain Hook turn one. And then we just get an Ink Pass on the side of Juan through a Tipo in the Inkwell there. Do you see an Yzma in the Inkwell for Chasey? A bit of a spicy draw card. I think she had her spot in the limelight during set 9 when there wasn't a lot of good draw options for Amethyst. She was something that was popping up a lot. And then also Calhoun coming down on the side of Chasey. Then we got our turn 2 ramp from Juan with a sail. Looks like he inked a second sail. And then played develop with that ink. So we saw 2 Tipos go in the inkwell, 1 sail go in the inkwell, and 1 sail played. So 4 ramp cards drawn after the mulligan for Juan there. Do get a white rose come down for the turn 3 curve out for Chasey. So the board looking pretty solid right now, especially considering that Juan hasn't been able to develop anything yet. But just as we say it, we do get the Cinderella come down. Still no Clarabelle shift line threatened yet here. Could play small Clarabelle, shift big Clarabelle next turn, but she won't be available to sing anything. Cinderella would be able to sing a You're Welcome if it was in hand. It's definitely something to look out for, but if Chasey has the strength of a Raging Fire here, could take out the Cinderella. And looks like he does. Plays the Genie, draws the card, and gets to play the Strength. Or sing the Strength, rather. So, perfect curve out. Exact hand you want to see with the purple steel so far with Chasey. We'll see if there's any answers on the side of Juan. Do you see small Philip come down, which can be a threat? All he needs in hand is Big Philip and a Malicious, Mean, and Scary, and that whole beautifully curved board on the side of Chasey will go down. And Juan deciding what to ink here. It really makes me think he's got a couple of those combo pieces in hand, and he's just deciding maybe to throw a Clarabelle or something. We do see a You're Welcome go in the inkwell. If he does have combo in hand, though, the You're Welcome's not going to get as much value for sure. Second Philip come down. This card makes the combo extremely potent because it has the 3-cost Philip has Ward. You really can't deal with it until it's turned sideways and you can challenge it. But most good players are just going to keep him upright. Nothing played on the side of Chasey on this last turn. Just went ahead and quested out. We do get the Malicious, Mean, and Scary, though. Sung it with 1 Philip, shifted onto the readied Philip, so this one will be able to quest for 3 here. We'll see if Chasey's able to come back from that board wipe. Most likely, that's why he did not play anything last turn, because I'm sure he had a feeling that it was coming. You get the Palace Guard We get a Smee and a Doc. Did not see if he used the Doc trigger. I think he might not have. I was not paying attention, but I did not see him discard anything. Do have a Clarabelle come down. Chasey has 2 cards in hand. Maybe he did Doc. I really wasn't paying attention. Somebody in chat in the comments, let me know. So Chasey able to build up a bit of a board again here, but it's nice. That was good. Hardcast strength onto the Phillip, and then finish it off with the evasive on your turn. It's me. Oh yeah, okay. 3 docks in the hand last turn. That's crazy. Played another dock, discarded a dock, and then got to draw 2 there. Getting rid of that big Phillip pretty early was a great play. Hard casting the strength and then finishing with the Smee that does that 3 evasive damage. Might have just been the play that saves the game here. Still not much in the way of a healthy board on the side of Chasey. These docks and the Palace Guard not doing too much in the way of damage or lore, but they are questing for 3 every turn, so unless Juan decides to deal with them, they're going to start running away with it, as he's getting pretty close at 13. Yeah, so the Clarabelle does decide to challenge into one of the docks. Interesting. So playing a sail, and then top decking a sail off that one, playing another one. Gonna draw 1 off the Clarabelle, pass the turn. This would be a great time for Chasey to find Genie. Maybe even something like a Demona to exert that Phillip on the other side and fill up the hand a little bit. No pun intended there. We do have Hades targeting Clarabelle. I think blue-green is almost always going to let you draw with this because you a lot of the time you're not going to have enough ink to play more things with the stuff you draw, so it's just going to translate to more Clarabelle draws. We do have Chasey close to representing game here. Juan's definitely going to have to do some challenging, possibly with both characters. If Juan decides to keep this Phillip upright still and only takes out this other dock or this Palace Guard, Chasey can represent game on board after questing next turn. Do you get the dock taken down by the Clarabelle? What do we got coming down here? Ooh, big under the sea. Wonder if Chasey takes back the Hades with this. Yeah, so what's going to happen here is every character is going to get put under the bottom of the deck. Well, every character that's 2 or less strength, so Olaf and Palace Guard. And then from there, Olaf will be able to trigger its ability. I think the players here are trying to figure out whether or not Olaf can bounce this Palace Guard during the Under the Sea. But the way that the bag works and the way that the active player resolving their effects works is you need to fully resolve the Under the Sea before Olaf's effect is available to be pulled from the bag. So the Palace Guard is not an eligible target for Olaf to bounce. Yep, so the players did come to the same conclusion. It might be worth to bounce this Hades. It still does have that Olaf ability. Don't know if he declined it. I think he's deciding right now. Just to get another draw too. I mean, it's going to give 2 more cards to 1, but maybe you draw into the stuff you need. No, it goes ahead and does not draw with the Hades. You may be seeing a Thunderbolt with Hades. Do get a Genie come down, which is really solid, really clutch at this point in the game. Not quite threatening game on board, but getting closer there now. And the Genie was able to dodge the Under the Sea, which is really nice. I think the only thing threatening him would be this. The malicious, mean, and scary Philip. No. Oh man. Found the combo again, unfortunately. Malicious, mean, and scary. And hardcast Big Philip coming down. No shift for that Philip. So the little one's questing for 2. And Juan's representing 7 lore on the board right now. Tough spot to be in. Another Genie. Not bad. Not bad at all. If he could get a couple more characters down, he could represent game on board still. Oh, Cobra. Discard. Huge. Okay, so one has to deal with this Genie. If he can't sing a You're Welcome on it or something, or bounce it back with Mother Knows Best, maybe have a John Silver to make it reckless, needs to find one of those options. Otherwise, Chasey is going to take this game too. Cobra doing really nice work there, allowing this Genie to threaten the game on board. Are there any options in the hands of Juan? And Under the Sea would do it. Basil bouncing. John Silver. There's the Basil, though. Yep. Basil bounced the Genie. Can't bounce the Cobra there either, because if you bounce the Cobra, then you're just giving Chasey the game. Cinderella come down. Let's see. Juan's gonna quest out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like Chasey's probably gonna have to just top deck a Rose is his only option. I don't see any other way he comes back from this. How did Elsa go in the inkwell? Demona. How much ink does he have? He already inked for turn and he's only got 2, so even if he draws into an answer here, he's not going to be able to play it, unfortunately. Looks like that might be the game. Take Clarabelle here. But then, yeah. That's gonna be the game. Unfortunate. That was really close. No, the next card was a Cobra. Vicious. That was super close to being a comeback from Chasey there. Really, really close. Juan unfortunately had just all the answers ready. That's the hard part about playing this green blue deck in the late game is just you have your John Silver, you have your Basil, Under the Sea, your Philip combo. I mean, you really can't do anything about all of that removal. Not to mention the You're Welcomes and Mother Knows Best too. But that was a hard fought match by Chasey. Really, really well played. It's tough matchup for your for Purple Steel here. So valiant effort indeed.